The great nation for which I call my home, Canada, has provided the world with a lot of different fucking television shows. Some good, some bad, some forgettable. It's a mixed bag. I look back on a fair amount of what I saw when I was a kid and a teenager fondly, but there's one show from my childhood that I have no fucking fond memories of, and that show is Mega Babies. South Park wasn't fucking too far off with Terrence and Phillip. A lot of Canadian shows for a time were centered on toilet humor. This was both good and bad because, yeah, as a kid we do find toilet humor funny. I still do find it funny on occasion, but the late 90s also gave us this whole gross out phase of humor. So when you combine gross out humor and toilet humor, you just get fucking Mega Babies. And my god, this is the fucking worst show I've ever seen. Like, I remember in school, if some kids said they liked Mega Babies, I would just like not be their friend. If I had a younger sibling, I probably would have smothered them to death in the bed and tried to make it look like SIDS if I caught them watching fucking Mega Babies. I hated it as a kid, and I fucking hate it now. Like, the 90s really got it going with the gross out humor, and yeah, Ren and Stimpy did it pretty well, but this is the recurring problem with comedy trends, is that once a movie, show, or stand-up act or whatever breaks new ground, breaks out, others start to follow suit. It happened with The Simpsons, and it happened with Ren and Stimpy, and it's currently happening with Rick and Morty. But through all these shows trying to break new ground that was already broken, each one lost one of the things that made the original trendsetter stand out. Referring to how the gross out humor shit got out of hand with kids' cartoons, it's almost as if the studios saw that the kids responded well to this one aspect and then just kind of ignored every other aspect and tried to play up the gross out humor for their entire show, and more often than not, it didn't work. Ren and Stimpy worked because, yeah, it was gross, but there was substance to it. The banter between the characters was funny. There was stuff other than the gross shit that was funny. You can't just take that and then leave everything else out, because that's not exactly what made the show work. It's this whole focus group style creativity, which is what's wrong with Hollywood today. Everything about Mega Babies is fucking grating. The opening theme, the pacing, like, I tried to watch a few episodes for this review. I wanted to give it an objective look, but I just couldn't really get through it. It was like being raped, and then, you know, at the police station, I'm reporting the fact that I was raped, and they have their line of suspects, and they're like, okay, well, in order to find your rapist, you're gonna have to back your ass up to this glory hole and let every single one of them stick their fucking cock in your ass until you can identify your rapist. Like, my god, that's Mega Babies. I just described the show. The basic premise of Mega Babies is that a bunch of babies get struck by some weird lightning when the planets align and they get superpowers, and then they fucking shit themselves a lot. There's also this nurse who's like an old East European woman who gets super intelligence from the lightning, and it's like, it's a bunch of superpowered babies fighting crime, and every 10 minutes somebody shits themselves. There was little to no substance to this show. The 90s also kind of brought about this whole Crash TV style where an episode just starts at a 10 and keeps going at a fast pace and just throwing everything at you as hard as it could, and people wonder why my generation still struggles with ADHD. So it's a bunch of loud noises, shit jokes, and then it's fucking over. There's just like nothing remarkable about this fucking show. And the fucked up thing is, you know, the late 90s is a really fucked up goddamn period of time, because this show wasn't for like preteens or teenagers. No, this show was the super deformed, hideous looking babies shitting their pants to the point where they fill their fucking diapers and fucking rocket through the roof. Was a show made for like really young kids. Some asshole thought that sitting the kids in front of a TV screen where a bunch of babies shit at a superhuman rate was like good fun television for fucking developing minds. It's just astonishing. It goes without saying, I'm not the only one who had this opinion. This show was panned by critics and did not do well with audiences either. I don't think I met like anybody who liked this show, and it was canceled after 52 episodes, but it remained in Teletoon's schedule for years to come. There was nothing better than watching a good show like Red Wall or Ned's Nude or Space Goofs or fucking Animal Crackers, only for this fucking crap to come on. It was one of those shows that aired at such a fucking aggravating time slot too. It aired in that weird stretch between 7 and 8 on weekdays, so like there was literally nothing on television to watch. It was after a rerun of The Simpsons, but before Dragon Ball would air on YTV. So you'd either end up sitting through it, not paying attention, or putting it on the fucking TV Guide channel for an hour until you saw something worth watching. And if you really didn't find anything, you just put it on fucking CB24 and watch the news. Yeah, man, you really know you hit a fucking home run when kids would rather watch the fucking news for an hour. Honestly, I think the closest thing I can relate Mega Babies to is Ripping Friends. It's a team of superheroes. They fight ridiculous monsters that just, you know, don't make sense. The thing is, Ripping Friends, although it came out 2 years later, actually did this formula much better because it wasn't overly fucking disgusting and the animation didn't look like shit. I'm trying to think how this even got past the testing phase. Like I said, I didn't meet any kids who liked this fucking show. What, did they fucking just like sit the kids down and the kids were like, oh, this show's kind of gross, I don't really like it. It's like, you're gonna watch the fucking baby shit the pants, you fucking little. Not only was somebody paid to create this, but somebody created this and this was like their magnum opus. This was like, they thought this was like the big fucking deal. And no, it wasn't. It lasted for about a year and then nobody ever really talked about it again. Not only am I curious how this tested, I'm curious as to who thought this show would be a good idea. What fucking animation producer saw this and was like, yeah, we're gonna fucking air this. This is gonna get fucking like 52 episodes ordered. Because this is literally the worst fucking show I've ever seen. Like, if there's nothing on, I can usually tolerate most shit. I could sit through shows like Super Duper Sumos or Radioactive or even the fucking Tales from the Crypt Keeper. But this is like, no. And the fucked up thing is, the creators of this show, the Tremblay brothers, yeah, they still worked after this and they actually managed to one-up how bad this was by creating something far worse. You wanna know what they fucking did? Do you want to know what they fucking did? The Tremblay brothers would go on to create Lunatics Unleashed. Yeah, that's a future video, but it is weird how the Tremblay brothers kept getting work after producing so many fucking flops. Nowadays, they're still around, they incubate animators, and I guess that's a good cause, but these guys just made pure fucking garbage. Like, you know, when they have Mega Babies and fucking Lunatics proudly displayed on their website, and Mega Babies is literally the crown jewel of Canadian trash TV. Yeah, it's just like perplexing that there was a point in time where this kind of shit was on TV, because I'll talk shit about today's animation, I'll talk shit about how uninspired a lot of the art is, and I'll talk shit about how mid a lot of the fucking content is, but I can say there's probably never been another show as bad as Mega Babies to come out of this generation. Honestly, this video was just kind of me tearing down Mega Babies because it sucked, and it's like not a deep video. I wasn't gonna sit here and fucking watch the entire series. I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on how bad it was and kind of give my experience on what it was like when this show was around. So, like, subscribe. I'm gonna go puke and piss a little bit. Bye.
Turn it off. Turn it off! Turn it off!